your day going on? We got to go to Ogallala. We got a Toyota that lost the wheel bearing that's coming in on the hook. We got a motorhome that's making a squeaking sound, and we got to drop some cylinders off. They're supposed to be possibly welded back together and put onto a tractor today. Oh, and I also got to be at the dentist's office by noon for the wife. So it's going to be an eventful day. It might be dark when I get everything finished up, and we'll see how available Toyota parts are, because last time I checked, if the wheel falls off, it usually takes a spindle off. So we might be tracking some parts down for that little Tacoma, which we'll find out what we can find. We'll find everything else out. So thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Okay, so what we got is a little Toyota pickup here, and everything is pretty much loose on it. It lost the wheel bearing, and it happens, and it got hot enough, it cooked the hub, did all kinds of good things to it. So we're in the process, as you can see, moving all the damaged parts, getting them off there. This is a Toyota, so most likely he's going to have to they're going to have to order some of the components for it, because they're not going to have them here. And it's been a while since I worked on one of these things. A long time. Look how that comes down. But you don't need it to. I might have to reposition my jack, everybody. Yep. I think I'm going to reposition the jack. Yep. I'll set it down on a different section, because that's springing down pretty hard. I don't want that to kick up. He's already got enough problems. Occasionally you get these jobs that is your normal turnaround wheel seal, but then you go to look at them, you don't realize how bad they could have became. Yeah, I think it might have broken a nut or a bearing. What guy was saying, this is bad. When I pulled the axle out, this all came with it, which that's normal. And then that, but oh my goodness, this still supposed to be on there. This has been riding on the axle for long enough to, look, there's no threads left. We can't put this back together. The threads are still there on the end of the axle in there, but the lock nut has no threads left to it. So I'm gonna call the customer back, because this is, that's why when you see something leaking, people, definitely get a professional to look at, because by the way that looks, he was just a short while from losing that axle. Holy moly, 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 moly. Holy moly. And oh yeah, by the way, you see this right here? This lock ring? See how it's never been bent over? That's no good, people. These are supposed to be bent over, because they lock in with the keyway into the axle right there that bends over this. That was never locked in. Yeah, that could have been catastrophic. I gotta call the customer. Well, this is John with Go Mobile, and today we are back here with the little orange tractor. Yeah, they got some items tore apart on it. I got some items tore apart on it. We're going to try to put our cylinders that we have fabricated and made into this machine, which, thank goodness I have a crane, because when they pulled it off the trailer and pulled everything apart on it, they lowered the bucket all the way down, and I'm going to need to get the bucket up in the air to put cylinders on it. So we'll see what this does. Well, we got the little tractor up and going. There's those cylinders that we had to modify to make fit, but they're in there and they're fitting. Sorry, I'm finishing up the job. The only problem I see with it is the tractor will raise the boom higher than what you should, because at this current junction you can raise the boom up high enough to dump dirt and gravel inside the cab. So I guess it is what it is, excuse me. But there she is in all of her glory. If anybody has these little tractors and they have a problem with them, to start off with, here's the cylinder number right there. I don't know if you guys can see that part number right there. When you do this, you will have to put a new eyelet right down there, because that eyelet is 2 or 1.5 inches, and the cylinder comes with 1-inch pins. Second of all, you will have to modify up there. I don't know if you can see that, but you will have to modify that to get it to fit. Then you will have to buy these, and you will have to replace this lower line down here. Add 5 inches to it, because if not, it won't fit. But doing that, now we have a little tractor that will lift high enough to probably put something into an actual, like a 550 dump box or anything like that, instead of just using a dump trailer. So there we go. And on top of that, this machine will lift more, because the original cylinders were like, I think they were 2-inch bores, and we went to a 3.5. I think this is what the bore is on this. Yeah, hence, yeah, we went to a 2.5 bore. The other cylinders were a 2 inch, so we went to a 2.5. So therefore, if you guys watched my previous video on hydraulics, well, we just added a whole inch of lift to this, and you times that times 3 or 3,000 psi, and that's a considerable amount more lift. So she'll be able to work herself strong enough to probably break this axle, or shear the pin off of the hydraulic tank right there. One of those. So just a warning, but it is working. It ain't leaking oil everywhere like it was. I'm going to go ahead, and after I finish up putting these lines into place, I'm gonna go ahead and grease it, and then run off and tell the customer what I found and what we got, and see what he says. So on the next time, it is what it is. Oh, and there's the service truck. That's what I was talking about. As you can tell by that cylinder, we still got another 2 inches of lift. So it would lift higher than it needs to be. We'll have to roll the bucket back. See up here. There we go. Bucket's coming back. There's the content of your bucket inside the cab. But if you need more lift with it, there you go. Well, as I was walking around it, I realized I probably should grease it while I got it up. Okay, what we got here is a leaking hub gasket. Now, I can see where the gasket is being worn pretty good. Yeah, it's coming out of there. That happens. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this axle right here. We'll go ahead and slide it out. We'll remove the nuts, slide it out, get the axle stood up, clean the axle surface off, clean the hub surface off. Make sure it's flat. Make sure it's true to the axle. Make sure that's good. And once we got that done, we will re-gasket it, put it back together, and then check the oil in the differential to make sure there is enough oil in the differential to possibly make it to this hub. Now on this truck here, we also got one more item. We got a air leak that is coming from the turbo blow off controller. I don't know how you'd actually say that, but needless to say, it's a controller. I got this component right here that's leaking air out the bottom of it, and it's puking out the bottom down here, which tells me the seals are bad in this side of it, because it's supposed to open up, let air supply in, then shut off to let air supply out, and it's leaking out the bottom. And this is why I was telling you about that stainless steel line. Now this line, as you can tell, just a regular stainless steel line attached up under there. There's the unit number. Had to remake a line. The line wore a hole right down in there. Wore a hole in it. Wasn't allowing the variable geometry to work correctly. So today we're going to install this line back on it. I cleaned out the controller the other day, and hopefully I got it cleaned up and got everything working on that right, but I can't tell until I go to put the line back in to see if everything's working correctly. But it's a little tiny Cummins. Well, that's the job completed. It is not puking air out like they asked, and the actuator is working. So on that notion, well, job well done. I'm gonna clean up my mess I made with the hub the other day and get that wiped out of the rim and cleaned up for him, just because I'm a nice guy like that. And I'm gonna shut the hood. And I'm going to head to Harbor Freight again, because I need some better needle nose, or better, what's the word I need? I need better snap ring pliers, because mine are far outdated and are kind of weak for the jobs I'm doing nowadays. So we'll see what that leads to. That's my kryptonite, that Harbor Freight, let me tell you that. It's not good. I regret going in there. I love going in there, but I regret it at the same time because my pocketbook don't like it.